What's up, everybody, and welcome to Narcocop MMA. I'm your host, Mike, and this is the full card breakdown for UFC 327. Yuri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg for the light heavyweight championship of the world. This is going to be a very, very fun fight. I mean, is there a Yuri fight that's not fun? I mean, I don't think so. Every single one of his fights are exciting. The dude just brings it in every one of his fights. So I'm looking forward to that main event. I'm looking forward actually to some other fights here. There is some really, really interesting fights on this card. So let me fix this camera really quick. All right. There's some really fun fights on this card. There's also some low-level fights, I would call them. But yeah, there's some weird for a numbered card. There is a couple of weird matchups, but it is what it is. They just dropped that Newark card. Oh my goodness, is that card good? I think that might be the card of the year. I mean, it's better than the White House card, in my opinion, from what I saw. So I'm really looking forward to that Newark card. But let me go over to my chat really quick. I'm going to try to knock this show out in 1 hour. We'll see what happens, but Elijah won, first one in the house. Let's effing go. Tristan on Rumble. Thank you, my man. Thank you for joining there. Dixon, Narco, what is the nonsense I'm hearing about Ulberg having staff coming in with a broken hand? Is this shit people are just making up on social media? Have you heard anything legit? Nothing that I've heard legit. I think people love to post things just for clicks and stuff. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but who knows? Mike OX Long, what's up, my man? Thank you for joining. Double Flush, lots of live dogs, but will they bark? That's the question. Chronic Combat, what's up, my man? Thank you for joining as well. Julio Rodriguez, like this pot in the afternoon, being sober equals better notes. That's a good one. Guru says, Ulberg looking chunky, worrying anyone else. We'll talk about that. Christian, let's go. Danish says, let's go, Narco. Appreciate you, my man. Mike Swallow says, getting Yuri fever. Yep. Or maybe it's New Jersey, whatever. Yeah, that card for sure. What else do we have here? Cone Peasy, shout out to Narco. Thank you, my man. Joseph Curry, let's get this money. Yes, Freak, the Arizona treadmill team is in the house. Vinny Diaz, what's up, my man? Grateful, dude. Best of luck this weekend as well. Ted says, my brain hurts from tape and thought this card. No joke, I'll listen to you. Appreciate you, my man. And Bonino says Yuri equals violence. All right, 55 live viewers. Let me go over, and if you guys can, please retweet whatever you need to do on X to get some more people in here. But I'm going to repost it really quick. Live now. All right, that's it. Let's start out here, all right? We got a lot of fights. We got 12 fights. We're going to try to break them down as quick as possible and give you as much info as I can as possible. With that being said, just like, subscribe to the channel. Channel is growing. I appreciate everybody. But here we go. First fight of the night. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 12-4 Francisco Prado versus the 11-5 Charles Radtke. Currently, Radtke minus 170 with the comeback on Prado at plus 145. Something that sticks out right away, jumps out of the screen, right? There's a 12-year age gap. Charles Radtke's 35. Francisco Prado is 23. Big age difference, right? 12 years is huge when it comes to MMA. The experience level, though, when you look at it, is both guys have 16 fights, right? So there really isn't much of an experience gap here. And even when you look, the other thing we look at is the UFC experience, right? When we look at experience, we say if you have UFC experience, it's a lot more important than having just regional fights, right? And even with that, like, there's 5 fights for Prado here. Meanwhile, Radtke has 6 in the UFC. So there's really not much of a difference when it comes to UFC experience here. But when you look at this fight, and you look at a guy like Charles Radtke, right? He went out last fight against Daniel Frunza, did what he had to do, right? Very smart game plan. Grapple, take Frunza down. Frunza has bad takedown defense. Frunza has very, very bad jiu-jitsu. And what he did is basically wrestle him for 3 rounds and eventually get the submission in round 3. And I had a ticket on Charles Radtke by submission there, and that paid pretty well, because I don't think Radtke has really grappled in his career in the UFC. And in this fight, I kind of figured he was going to grapple. Yeah, it was a plus 550 price tag, and he went in there and grappled him and got the sub. Now, in this fight, we look at a guy like Radtke, and I think he's a solid fighter everywhere. I think he has decent takedowns. I think he's decent on the feet. He looks kind of flashy. He has a good left hook, has some power in his hands. But I think he's also facing a guy that's a little bit more explosive, a little bit more athletic than him. A guy in Francisco Prado who could be taken down, but not easy to hold on. He will scramble. He will try to get up. He also uses the Kimura a lot to try to get up, which I don't think is the best defense against a black belt in Radtke. But I don't think he's a fish out of water like a guy like Frunza, where he gets his back taken, where he puts himself in many, many submissions. I think he's better there in that sense. And then on the feet, Prado is very hittable, but he's also has an incredible chin, man. He's got a very, very good chin. And I don't see him like a guy like, Urbina or Semmelsberger, who's going to melt at the first shot. This guy is not, man. And he's going to keep coming forward. So that's why I think this fight kind of plays close, honestly. I don't really want to play a guy like Radtke at minus 170, man. This guy is outside of the Frunza fight. Yeah, he KO'd Urbina and Semmelsberger, but I don't think he's going to be able to KO Prado like that. Prado has a really, really good chin. He's going to keep this fight competitive. The fight that I compare Radtke to would be the Prado versus Jake Matthews. He's kind of similar, black belt in jiu-jitsu, doesn't grapple a lot. Matthews likes to strike a lot, but he's a better technical striker. He's a lot younger than Radtke is, Jake Matthews, and he has way more experience. So even in that fight, when you look at that fight, Prado was competitive there when I watched it back. So, yeah, I don't really like Radtke at minus 170. I really don't. I think it's dog or pass here, even with the line coming in a lot here. I think you could have got – I wish I would have got to plus 200 when he was 205 a couple of days ago, like 4 or 5 days ago. I think that's an easy bet on Francisco Prado. But, yeah, I mean, I think this line should be closer to pick 'em, in my opinion. So with that being said, I am going to go with the underdog here, actually. I'm going to go with Francisco Prado. He's training at ATT. I'm hoping to see some improvements. Honestly, I have not seen many improvements in his game. Maybe something clicks this time. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Prado. I just don't trust Radtke enough. I think he fights pretty close. And I think finishing upside, honestly, is more on the Prado side, believe it or not. So even with Radtke being a minus 170 favorite, if you look at the finish only line, it's favored on the Prado side. Finish only on Prado is minus 140. So the market's telling you that the most likely guy to finish here is Prado. The guy to more likely win a decision here is Radtke. But I disagree with the tag on Radtke decision only too. So I'm going to go with Prado here to win via KO or decision. Let's move on. Fight 2. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 23-12 Vicente Luque versus the 20-10 Calvin Gastelum. And currently, Gastelum is a minus 285 favorite with the comeback on Luque at plus 245. Let me just make sure. Yep, the line's still the same. I just think Luque is washed, man. He's very, very washed. He had that brain bleed. He had that devastating fight against Jeff Neal, man. I'll never forget that fight. That fight basically just absolutely destroyed this guy. You know, he had the brain bleed. He had to sit out for a while. Took a crazy amount of punishment in the Jeff Neal fight, man. And I know he came back and beat Dos Anjos. I know he looked good grappling in that fight. I mean, grappled in that fight. I just don't think this guy's looked the same. Buckley fight was basically a quit job. He beat Demba, but that was so fast. He didn't absorb any shots, nothing. And then he looked awful against Holland. He looked awful against Alvarez. I mean, Alvarez honestly felt bad for him. It just seemed like he just didn't want to pound on him more when he was on bottom. Yes, Kevin Gastelum misses weight. Yes, Kevin Gastelum comes out of shape. But one thing Calvin Gastelum doesn't do is doesn't give up. Calvin Gastelum still has a granite chin. He'll come forward. He'll swing very hard. He has good straight shots. He's got good footwork, and he's very, very fast. Luque is moving up to 85 here. I have no idea why. Probably to prolong his career, a couple of more fights. But I think this is easy Kevin Gastelum here. I mean, even if Luque tries to grapple, I don't think he holds down Calvin. I think Calvin has good defensive wrestling. I don't even think Luque is going to be very successful, honestly, with wrestling here. So I think Calvin Gastelum's probably going to knock him out. Luque's not taking shots well. Calvin even landed very good shots on Pfeiffer in round 3. I think he's going to knock him out. That's just how I feel here. I think Calvin Gastelum, even though he's a guy that doesn't come into shape, he misses weight, but he still fights hard in every one of his fights. And I just think Luque's washed. He's completely washed, in my opinion. He's going to get knocked out here. If not, he's going to probably get beaten up and probably hurt multiple times in this fight. Maybe he survives. I don't know. But it's Calvin Gastelum all day for me here. Obviously, it's 285 minus 285. But I think he's a safe parlay piece, to be honest. So give me Calvin Gastelum. Easy win, in my opinion. Big step down also. When you look at Gastelum's losses, Sean Brady, Joe Pfeiffer, Jared Cannonier, Robert Whittaker, Hermanson via heel hook, which is a weird outcome. Then back in the day was Darren Till split, and then Israel Adesanya in a 5-round title fight. Like, guys losing to top-tier guys. He's not losing to a wash to Vicente. Like, if it was Vicente Luque in his heydays, I would say, okay, you know, this is a good fight. Luque has a chance. It's Vicente Luque washed version. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's Calvin easily here. And then the funny thing is, this is the second fight on a UFC 327 card. It's kind of crazy with these two veterans of the UFC being the second fight of the night. All right, let's move on. Fight number 3. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 11-1 Markel Mederos versus the 17-6 Chris Padilla. And currently we have a minus 155 price tag on Chris Padilla with the comeback on Mederos at plus 135. This is again a fight for me where I think it's dog or pass. You know, I'm a guy that loves Chris Padilla. I think I felt really bad he didn't get the bonus last time out. You know, he's trying to help his mom. I tweeted about it. I even bought his merchandise, actually, Chris Padilla. But the thing with Chris Padilla is, like, in his prior fights, he was a big underdog. You know, he was an underdog in both of those fights. Let me look, actually. Underdog against James Iliantop, underdog against Zurong, underdog against Jai Herbert. He was a pretty big underdog against Bonfim, but he closed Pick'em. And then now all of a sudden he's a moderate-sized favorite. And I've been a Markel Mederos hater. I don't think this guy is great. I don't think he's, you know, he's one of those fighters that looking to kill people, you know. But I will cut him slack. He's got good striking. He's got pretty good cardio. He's got a good get-up game. He's very twitchy and fast on the feet. He switches stances. He is technical. So as much as I don't like his game as far as, like, thinking that he's, you know, a very exciting fighter, I think he's pretty damn skilled. I mean, he can grapple. He can strike. He's a good fighter all around, Markel Mederos, you know. And in this fight, I just see it kind of a striker versus striker. Padilla is very defensive-minded when it comes to his striking. Hands up, kind of back foot looking to counter. I feel like both guys love to counter, but Markel Mederos goes first a little bit more than Padilla. I think this is going to look a lot like Padilla versus Jai Herbert, except that Marco Mederos is much younger. He's a little bit more twitchy. He switches stances. Both of these guys love to kick, calf kick, but they can both fight out of both stances. I do think Padilla has better weapons as far as knees and elbows. I think he uses them more. I think he's a bit better in the clinch as well than a guy like Mederos. But I think this fight, again, is a super close fight. Kind of mirror matchups. Mederos a little bit younger, year younger. Padilla more experience. Padilla maybe a little bit of a grappling edge. You know, he probably has a little bit better jiu-jitsu than a guy like Mederos, but I don't think it's going to be easy to hold Mederos down. You know, he's going to be able to get back up. I think this is a super close fight, in my opinion. I lean dog or pass with the current line, but if I'm to pick a winner, I slightly lean Padilla just because he has a little bit more weapons than Mederos. But this is a split type of fight for me, man. This is a very close fight. I think they're mirror images of each other. This is a bigger cage, so Mederos can move a little bit more. He's got more room to move. Padilla's looked good in the UFC. He's looked fine. He beat Rongzhu. He beat Jai Herbert. He beat Bonfim. Bonfim came in 5 pounds overweight, looked awful. I think he was injured, honestly. I think Bonfim was injured, and Padilla targeted his leg, which I think they must have known something was wrong with his leg or something, because he literally went after that lead leg and a couple of kicks, and he was already limping. I think Bonfim was injured going into that fight, missing weight like that. But props to Padilla. You know, he withstood the storm and finished him in round 2. Rongzhu fight, very close fight again. I mean, Rongzhu probably won round 1, was looking decent in round 2 before he ate the elbow. So, you know, it still came from Padilla, but I think if that fight goes to the scorecards, honestly, Rongzhu might have won that fight. I don't know how it goes, obviously, in round 3 and stuff, but it just looked like to me he was coming on more. And then the Jai Herbert fight was literally a coin flip. Like, I don't know who won that fight, you know, even till this day. So it's just that Padilla fights close is my point. Markel also fights close, right? So that's why, hence, I think this is a split decision type of fight. I will say that I think a majority of the finishing equity is all on the Padilla side. Like, I would say 90% finishing equity is Padilla. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the favorite winning the fight. But as far as bet, you know, it's a difference between betting and who I think wins, because I think this is a pick'em type of fight, but I'm leaning Padilla. But on the money line, there's no way I could play 55, even 7, you know, even if it's minus 140, I can't play Padilla because I think it's a 50-50 fight. So I'm going to go with Padilla to win. But Markel Mederos probably has a little bit of value on the money line. I probably wouldn't touch it, but yeah, that's how I'm leaning here. Yanino says Padilla decision is easy money. I don't know if it's easy money, man. I think none of Padilla's decisions are easy money. Let's go back to his decision. Jai Herbert split. Darren Smith Jr. lose by split. Devin Brock, he won unanimous. Then Ivan Castillo, he won by split. That should tell you a lot how this guy fights. You know, he fights close. And kind of the same thing can be said for Mederos. So let's see what else. What were his dog odds? He was at 200 at one point. I mean, was he at 200? Let me just make sure. I don't want to. No. The highest he got to 170. 170 is really good if you got there. I think that's really good. Yeah, I disagree with this. I think Taco's way more defensive and lower volume, in my opinion. Maybe he can outwork him like in the clinch and stuff, but I don't really think Taco throws. Let me look at the stats really quick. I don't think Taco throws a lot of. Yeah, I mean, 39 significant strikes in the Herbert fight. It's very low. Bonfim fight, he had a lot more, but that was like towards the end too. Rong Zhu fight, he had 68, which is not bad. Markel had 110 last time versus Chunowski, but only 44 versus Hubbard. But then he had his back taken in that fight and stuff. Quinones fight, he had 60. So they're about the same. I would say Mederos throws a little bit more, to be honest. I think Mederos throws a little bit more than Padilla. Rashid says it's going to be a good live spot. It could be. I don't know if this one's going to be a good live spot, honestly, because it's going to be nip and tuck. You think Mederos' leg kicks could be an issue for Taco? I don't. I think Taco can switch stances easily. I think Taco actually throws good leg kicks too. Both these guys switch stances a lot, and I think they're comfortable fighting in both southpaw and orthodox. Padilla definitely has more grit, though. Yes, I 100%. I agree with that. I think he has more grit. He's more toughness. He's more willing to go through the grind than Mederos. But yeah, he just doesn't throw enough for me. Do either of these guys gas in round 3? I don't think so. I think they both have good cardio. Mederos out of MMA lab, good cardio. Padilla, good cardio. I don't really see one gassing. And the other thing you have to remember is they don't push high paces, both these guys. So, like, I don't really see. Maybe if I favored cardio, I would say maybe slightly Padilla, but I don't think it's very big. I don't think it's very big. Let's move on. Next fight. It's in the women's strawweight division. It is the 14-5 Luque Godinez versus the 11-1 Tatiana Suarez. And Tatiana Suarez currently actually minus 150, and the comeback plus 130 on Lupita Godinez. So a couple of things with this fight. Luque obviously has good wrestling. We know Tatiana Suarez has very good wrestling, right? So when you look at this fight, I think Luque has the much better hand. She's much better striking-wise. I don't think it's even close. Tatiana loops a lot of her punches. She's not very solid with her defense on the feet. Kind of sloppy, to be honest. You know, she throws out of the southpaw. But her bread and butter is wrestling. Like, she's going to try to get this fight to the mat. Luque, very good takedown defense historically, 81%. Got taken down twice by Mackenzie Dern, but she was able to get back up. Jandiroba, same thing, got her back, down a couple of times. Had some control, but not a ton. I think she did okay in that fight, but Jandiroba we saw her against Ricci, how hard it is to get up against a girl like that, because she's very good with her jiu-jitsu. I don't think Suarez has the same level of jiu-jitsu that a girl like Jandiroba has, right? Suarez probably has much better wrestling than a girl like Jandiroba, but Jandiroba is super tricky, man. She's super tricky. And honestly, I've always shit on Jandiroba striking. I think it's way better than Suarez's at this point. So the other thing to look at in this fight is the size. Look at, she's got a 3-inch height, a 5-inch reach, and she's just a little bit bigger, Suarez. This fight's gonna come down to if Suarez is able to get takedowns and hold her down. That's the bottom line for me, because on the feet, Luque is much better. She's gonna throw way more volume. She's gonna just touch up Suarez way more. She's a good striker. Suarez isn't a good striker. It's gonna come down to Luque using fight IQ, stuffing takedowns, and if she gets taken down, scramble to get back up. Don't go for submissions, doing stupid stuff, right? I think that's what it comes down to. I really don't have a good read on this fight. I don't really know if Godinez is going to be able to get back up like her previous opponents. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Ricci fight last week. I wasn't sure also with that fight. Really didn't have a good read with that fight, and obviously turned out that Jandiroba just mauled her with the grappling. This is a pass fight for me. I'm gonna go with Luque just because she's a little bit younger and she's more well-rounded than a girl like Tatiana. She's definitely the more well-rounded fighter. But I wouldn't be shocked if Tatiana just kind of like rode her, took her down for a couple of rounds, won 1 and 2, kind of got tired in round 3, similar to the fight against Amanda Lemos. And then she got hit up in that Lemos fight in round 3 a little bit there, right? So I think she could win potentially round 1 and 2. And then probably lose round 3. I would favor Godinez round 3. She's a little bit more proven there. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Godinez on the money line, honestly, plus 125. But I'm probably passing this fight altogether. I just don't trust Suarez. She's a little bit older. This girl was a girl that the UFC was trying to prop to get the title, fight for the title, this and that, and now all of a sudden she's all the way down in the prelims fighting Luque Godinez. And I also think Tatiana Suarez has slowed down quite a bit, knee injuries, stuff like that. How much do you trust this girl now at this point? So I really don't trust her. I really don't. I mean, even against Lemos, yeah, she got takedown. She didn't look great there. And then in that fight against Wei Li, she got killed. Absolutely murdered for 5 rounds. So yeah, I don't really have a take. I think fight goes to decision. Probably a very, very high clip, but it's juiced to the whatever. So yeah, I mean, this is a pass fight for me. Let's see here. Dixon says Tatiana's going to get slept like Patchy Mix got slept. I don't think so. She's tough, man. Wei Li landed a lot of shit on her. Amanda Lemos landed big shots on her in round 3. Lupita Godinez does not throw anywhere near the power those two girls throw. Suarez wrestling going to outweigh Lupe, and I think she gets held down. Very possible. Meatball says, I think she's going to get shot on every time she tries to throw anything with size and reach difference. Yeah, could be. I feel Suarez is going to hold her down 3 rounds. That could happen. Narco, come on. Tatiana's reach means nothing. She doesn't punch hard at all. She's not looking to strike anyway. No, but once I mean talk about reach, is Lupita has a smaller reach, so she's got to, she's got to still close the distance. The other girl's longer than her, right? So you need to close distance, and in that scenario where you have to close distance, you have to get closer to throw your shots. Tatiana could still use that to grab her. That's what I mean. Not about striking as far as when someone's taller than you, you need to get closer to try to land on them with a shorter reach and stuff. So that opens up takedowns. Tatiana going to get finished like her man just did. I don't think so. Nicholas says, I don't think Lupe has the strength or power Lemos. Exactly. She doesn't. Stay away from fights like this. It will make your bankroll bigger. Potentially, yes. Let's effing go, boys. Late to the show. Appreciate you, Rude One. Thank you for joining. Loving the Discord, brother. Appreciate you. That's a new member, by the way. Rude One is new, and he loves the Discord. Discord's the best place. By the way, link for free. If you want to get in the free section, I'm 9-2 on my free plays there in the Discord. If you want that, you can have it. I posted a free play this week. But if you want to get in the paid portion, $25 a month. Best $25 you guys could spend. We're up 20 units track plays this year. Cooked them in Zuffa boxing this week. We cooked them in the UFC this week. So yeah, it was a good week all around last week. So looking to bounce back and do it again this week. What else we have here? Tristan says Rumble is better than YouTube. Appreciate you, my man. Rain says, I bet money Rude Ones on Rude Boy. Maybe. Tati points. He says it's free money. Says 216 picks. Christian says Discord is basically free with the one you wake in there. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you. All right, let's move on. Fight 5. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 15-2 Esteban Ribovics versus the 25-4 Mateus Gamrot. Currently, Gamrot minus 188 with the comeback on Ribovics at plus 163. This line's moved a little bit. Gamrot, obviously, this is going to be grappler versus striker. Gamrot is 35 compared to Ribovics 29. So Ribovics more in his prime, more of the guy that's going to be improving. Better cardio, in my opinion, right now in this stage of their career. And that's the one thing with Gamrot that I will tell you guys is very, very different from what I've seen on tape, man. You guys go back and watch this guy's tape. One thing that sticks out to me right away on tape is that Gamrot's cardio is not the same, guys. I don't know what it is what he was doing before. Maybe it's the age, right? Maybe he's 35, he's slowing down, cardio doesn't look the same. But when you go back and watch the Sarukian fight, which was 4 years ago, a little bit less, right? He looked better in rounds 3, 4, 5 than even Arman Sarukian, who's known to have very good cardio, right? He paced Arman Sarukian in that fight. Then when you go and then you look at, you swing back to the fights like Dan Hooker fight, right? He's gassed, he's exhausted in round 3. And even though it's a war, he looked very, very tired in round 3. Then the Ludovic Klein fight. Yes, he's on top. He's on top of Ludovic a lot. But you could see he's very tired in round 3. And then Oliveira fight, again, a couple of rounds. He looks exhausted in that fight. Same thing with Dariush fight, actually. I remember round 3, he's shooting over and over, missing takedowns. Again, he's very, very tired in round 3 against Dariush, right? He could take down, for sure, he could take down Esteban Ribovics. Ribovic's been taken down a lot before against guys that try to grapple him, right? Kamala Kirk 3 times. Loic 11 times, right? Even Nasrat got him down in round 3 late in that fight. But one thing with Ribovics is, one, I think his takedown defense is definitely improved from when he came from the Argentine scene. Because when you look at his first 2 fights in the UFC, they're Loic and they're Kamala Kirk. He had only been at Killcliff for like, I don't know, 4 months. He was training in Argentina, man. Not a lot of good training partners, not good coaches, not good gyms. He's been training at ATT for over 3 years now. He's great training partners, or sorry, I keep saying ATT at Killcliff. Great training partners, good grapplers in that room. He has leveled up his defensive wrestling, right? Everything about his game is leveled up. This guy throws very hard. He throws in combos. He can come for 3 rounds. He's got excellent cardio, excellent durability. I don't think he has a bad get-up game, honestly. I think he'd explode up easily against a guy like. And the other thing with Gamrot is his control is not the best. He doesn't have the best control for, grapplers. Does he have very good wrestling? Yes, absolutely. Excellent single leg takedown. He gets on top, but I think Esteban Ribovics can scramble back up, right? I do think this is the best grappler Ribovics has faced, but I also think that Ribovics has leveled up since the likes of Loic, right? So 6 years younger, better cardio, in my opinion, at this point in their career. More of the finishing equity in this point in their career. A lot more durable, to be honest. Like, that's the other thing with Gamrot, guys. Gamrot got hurt and finished against Oliveira. He got Ludovic Klein, I think, honestly, in round 3, he buzzed him as well. He didn't drop him. But then Dan Hooker fight, he was hurt very bad. Rafael Dos Anjos dropped him. Jalen Turner dropped him and almost finished him. And then Beneil Dariush dropped him. This guy's been getting dropped a lot more lately, man. And I'm telling you guys, he's facing a guy that's going to give him absolute hell on the feet. This is just how Ribovics fights. So if you're going to give me big plus money or a good amount of plus money on a guy that's going to fight for your money, if there's anybody that fights for your money, it's Esteban Ribovics. He's not going to lay on the mat. He's not going to just sit there. The most time he got control was Kamala Kirk when he got his back with the body triangle. Now, if Gamrot does that, then he probably can hold him for a while. But if he's just on top, I don't think he's holding him. This guy is going to get up, and he's going to do everything to get up, and he's going to make Gamrot work like a mother in this fight. So I like Esteban Ribovics. I like the upset here. I think he's going to knock out the first guy to knock out Mateusz Gamrot in rounds 2 or 3 here. That's my prediction. I think he's going to knock him out in this fight. So give me Gamrot plus 163 here. That's what I like. That's what I like here. I like Mateusz Gamrot. What do we got here? Appreciate you. 216 picks says best breakdowns on YouTube. Appreciate you, my man. This we're gonna have to see. We don't know what the prices are. Everything is price dependent, but it could be. The Charles fight was pre-short notice, though. Okay, fair enough. But how about the Hooker fight? How about the Benil Dariush fight? I mean, he's looking like he's slowing down, man. He's not the same fighter to me. And he's older. He's older. Eventually he should become Narco Robocop. I don't know what that means, but okay. Method Mari says, if we're talking in terms of what have you done for me lately, I give it to Gamrot. Oh, that's fair enough. If you think I mean, he looked awful against Charles. I know it's Charles, but he looked awful, man. He really did. What else we have here? Method Mari says Rebo KO. I don't think it's terrible. I like his money line better. Moise says Scamrot. It's funny. Carlos, last time I assumed someone was going to fight for my money. Fluffy got KO'd to the belly. Yeah. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's MMA. Anything can happen. But I'm going from what I see on tape, right? I can only give you what I see on tape. Yeah, some people are going to quit out of the blue. Some people get memed. That just happens in MMA. From tape, I think one guy is declining, in my opinion, and one guy is at a peak of his career in Esteban. And you can potentially see more improvements from this guy. He's only 29, you know? So getting more comfortable in the UFC, all these things matter. You know, is he hittable? Sure. Is his defense there? Pretty bad? Yes. But he's a guy that will fight, man. He will fight to the end, and he's an absolute beast. Let's see here. You like Gamrot? Nope. I like the other side. I like the other side here. Half the battle. What's up, my man? Dan Levy. Smash the like button for my brother. I appreciate you, my man. Half the Battle podcast. Go check him out as well. What else? Gamrot has way better competition. I agree with that. Absolutely. He has. But again, you know, Esteban is kind of like new to the UFC. Yeah, he has some fights. I'm not saying he's new, but he's fought a decent level of opposition. You know, you can only fight who they put in front of you. They're not going to give him. The thing is with Esteban Rivas, they weren't going to give him a top 15 guy because he was never near there. Now he gets a shot, you know. Eventually, in order to get there, you're going to have to cross that path, and now he's going to cross that path, and we're going to learn a lot more about him, honestly. But I think I think Ribovics is good. I really do. He is sort of a punching bag. That's the bad thing about him. But he has very good intangibles. He really does. Ribovics submissions, good or no? No, he's not subbing Gamrot. Not in a million years. Not in a million years is he subbing Gamrot. All right, let's move on. Next fight. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 28-15 Kevin Holland versus the 20-7 Randy Brown. And currently, this fight is an absolute pick-em at -110 apiece on each side. So these guys are kind of mirror images of each other. If you look at them, they're both 6'3". They're both, you know, one is 35, one is 33. Fine. They both have a lot of experience in the UFC. Reach, obviously, Holland a little bit more, but these guys are both primarily strikers. I would say that Randy Brown is a lot more technical, in my opinion. Way more technical striker, better footwork. I think he has more of a kicking game than a guy like Kevin Holland. Holland is more of a wild striker, I would say. He throws a lot of loopy overhands. He does throw straight punches as well, but he's not as technical as Randy Brown, not as technical defensively either. His footwork is not better than Randy Brown. So when you look at the technical aspect, I think Randy Brown is the much more technical fighter here, right? The problem, I want to play Randy Brown. I will tell you guys straight up. I want to play Randy Brown in this spot because I think he's the much more technical fighter. I think he's the fighter that will have a game plan. Kevin Holland just doesn't have a game plan in any fight. It's just go out there and fight. and see what happens, right? He's put up some. Here's the other thing with Kevin Holland. He's a guy that I have a list that is on the never bet list. I cannot bet Kevin Holland because I cannot trust him with a game plan. I cannot trust him to fight for my money. It's just an untrustworthy fighter. Now, with that being said, Kevin Holland's a lot more durable than Randy Brown. That in lies the issue here for me betting Randy Brown, because Kevin Holland still hits hard. He's got a long reach, right? And the one thing I said it in my Discord that Randy Brown does over and over again is he does the shoulder roll, hands down, shoulder roll, pull back that chin, but arms don't go up. His left hand doesn't go up, right, to block. And he gets clipped. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, he got clipped with that punch from Nicholas Dalby, overhand right. He got dropped with it. And he got clipped against, who else was it? I forgot. There was another fight there was 2 fights that he got clipped with that overhand right. And one of them came very, very close against Brian Battle. It was inches away from landing on him, doing the same thing. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Kevin Holland throws that big, loopy overhand right, and Kevin Holland has a longer reach than all of these other guys. So I'm very scared that overhand right is going to catch Randy Brown on the chin. He does this shoulder roll, hand down. I don't like it. Pick your fucking hands up, dude. And so that's one area in this fight. I'm telling you guys, that right hand from Kevin Holland could land here, and it could absolutely drop Randy Brown. I don't know if it's going to finish him, but I absolutely think it could drop him in that scenario. So I have a problem with Randy Brown betting him, man. His chin seems to be going. I mean, Dalby dropping you is a very, very bad look. Dalby does not have a lot of power, man. How many knockouts does this fucker have? Let me see. Dalby has 7 knockouts. 1 in the UFC after a gassed Gabriel Bonfim. That's it. 1 in the UFC. I really think that Randy Brown's chin is kind of going. I don't know if it was ever great anyways, but he's 35. I'm a little afraid of that. But from a technical aspect, man, Randy Brown I'm telling you guys, listen to this breakdown. If Randy Brown does not get hurt in this fight, Randy Brown is minus 300. He's going to win. Minus 300, Randy Brown. I promise you guys that. But I feel like the way he fights, the way he does things, he's going to get clipped at some point. Whether he gets finished or not, I don't know. But he gets clipped and get hurt in this fight more than 50% of the time. Maybe 40% of the time, I would say. He gets hurt and clipped in this fight. I don't think there's some people saying ground game. I think if anybody takes anybody down, it's Randy Brown. I think he can take Kevin Holland down. Honestly, it's not a bad move. Get to the clinch, body lock, take this guy down. I think he can take him down. And then Kevin Holland, yes, he might have better jiu-jitsu, but I don't know. I don't like him off his back at all. I don't really like. He's going to play jiu-jitsu off his back. It's just idiotic, So that's the other thing. IQ, man. I mean, Kevin Holland's IQ is bad. Fight IQ is not good, man. So let's see what happens. Half the battle says it's the fade Kevin Holland World Tour has touchdown in Miami. I don't blame you. I mean, Randy Brown's the better fighter, plain and simple. Holland by KO can definitely happen. Brown has a better record last 10. Yeah, I don't look at it like that. I mean, you can, but that's not how you shouldn't look at who's been doing well, the last 10. I mean, it's opponents matter, stuff like that. I think you have to put it a little bit more into context to see. And also performances, like how has he looked in the last 10 years? Has he looked terrible? Has he been winning ugly? Stuff like that. SKIS or Ski says, going with Holland, Brown was shooting guns instead of worrying about his camp, but he's always doing that though. Combat Sports says, all depends what Holland turns up. Randy Brown is slick and more hungry, I think I'd go with Brown. Brown has more precision and is way more. He is more technical. It's not even close. Elijah one says, I will play Kevin at plus money, never laying chalk on him ever again, though. That's fair take. Let's see here. Holland's got the grind game too. Nah, he's not out grappling Brown. He's not going to take him down. There's no way. If anybody takes anybody down, in my opinion, it's Randy Brown. Who's knocked out? Holland? Nobody. Yeah, I mean, but he got hurt pretty damn mad against D-Rod. That looked very, very bad. Against D-Rod, he got hurt very bad, and D-Rod's not really known to have power like that, especially this. D-Rod's 40 years old, so that was kind of a bad look. If Randy Brown doesn't get hurt, he is minus 300. Narco said, FYI, if my aunt had balls, she would be my uncle. I mean, listen, there's a world where he doesn't get hurt in this fight. It's not like he gets hurt in every iteration of this fight. Split, probably a gross number. I don't know. Kevin Holland was posting on his IG that he was looking for a date Friday night for DBX. I don't know if he's locked in either. Guy is a clown. I mean, he's a jokester. I mean, what are we going to do? This is just how he is in every fight. So you got to take what he says with a grain of salt. I mean, I don't believe shit this guy says anyways. So Kyle Dawkins KO'd with that. I remember that. That was funny as hell. All right, let's move on. Next fight. It's in the featherweight division. It is the 37-8 Patricio Pitbull versus the 13-5 Aaron Pico. And currently Pico is a minus 290 favorite with the comeback on Pitbull at plus 245. You know, surprisingly, Pico did this camp in Morocco. He thanked the sheik there, the prince or whoever is in charge of the country. He did like almost all the camp there. He came back the last 2 weeks. It's kind of surprised to see that. I don't know the connection. Why Pico went out to Morocco? I don't know the deal. What reasoning he had to go out there, but if anybody knows, I don't know. But he did train out in Morocco for this fight. 6 weeks, I believe. And I had a pretty big bet on Aaron Pico against Murphy, man. And he was looking great. He was looking great until he died with that spinning elbow. I mean, it was a nasty spinning elbow. He had hurt Murphy to the body early. He had taken him down. He was just looking good. I mean, he did get touched, caught a couple of times, but he was looking very good there before he died, right? And, the thing with Aaron Pico is I think he's a little bit too aggressive for his own good, right? That's how I would say Aaron Pico is a skilled fighter. He has heavy hands. He throws hard. He's got pretty good striking. He's got excellent wrestling, probably some of the best wrestling in the UFC, right? The guy is just a well-rounded, really, really good fighter. But I think he's a little too aggressive for himself, right? I think he should be a little bit more patient. I think he should set up his takedowns. I think he should set up his striking, but he doesn't, right? Everything is chucking big shots, rushing into takedowns, not setting them up. Like, why not throw a jab, right hand into a takedown, right? Throw make your opponent think that you're throwing a couple of strikes up top before you shoot for a takedown instead of just shooting a naked takedown like the one he did against who was it that knocked him out with the flying knee? Adam Borix, right? Shooting a naked takedown right into a knee and dead, right? Then you look at the fight against LaRon Murphy. Okay, why are you going right step, left step, right step with your hands down, not throwing anything right into a spinning elbow? Like, set your shots up, bro. Like, you throw a jab. Throw a fucking jab. You know what I'm saying? Instead of plotting in like that, throw a damn jab. Set yourself up for whatever you want to do, right? I'm assuming he wanted to go in for a takedown there. Like, he was stepping in, potentially going for a takedown. But, like, set up your takedown then. And that's the problem with Aaron Pico is, like, he's not setting up these things that he's trying to do, and it's costing him. He's costing him wins because I think he wins against Borix. I think he wins against LaRon Murphy, but he gets caught, right? So that's been the issue with Aaron Pico is I disagree with people saying like he's chinny. I really like who survives a flying knee when you're going for a takedown and it lands on your chin. Tell me a guy that survives that. Nobody. They're all going to get knocked out. Who survives a spinning elbow to the dome, to the chin, like the way he ate it against a guy like Murphy? Nobody. Everybody gets knocked out with these, right? The other KO was the Jeremy Kennedy where his shoulder came out of place. That's not even a KO. That's like whatever. That has nothing to do with your chin. And then the other one was the Corrales one. Fine. He got KO'd, but Corrales hits very fucking hard, man. Like if Corrales lands on you, it's flush, you're probably going to go out. He hits super hard. So I'm not saying his chin is great, but I also don't think his chin is bad as people make it out to be. You know, I don't, from what I've seen, I don't think his chin is bad as people make it out to be. If you get caught with a meme, you're going to get knocked out, in my opinion. And if it lands flush, right? Now, are those KOs a doing of himself? Yes, I think he's doing stupid shit to get KO'd, right? So I agree with that aspect of it. But looking at this fight, Patricio Pitbull is obviously 38. He's tail end of his career. I wouldn't say he's in his prime anymore. And obviously Pico is in his prime at 29. One thing I will tell you guys when I did tape on this is Patricio Pitbull is one of the best counter strikers. I'm telling you guys, he's extremely good at counter striking. And when you look at his fight against Danny Ige and Yair Rodriguez, you're going to come out unimpressed. And I'll tell you why I was unimpressed with especially the Dan Ige fight, is because Dan Ige was making him go first a lot in that fight. And Patricio Pitbull is not really comfortable going first. He's really comfortable on the back foot, sliding out, boom, counter right hand. Very fucking good counter right hand. He's extremely good counter striker, Patricio Pitbull. Great calf kicks, very good counter striker, good defense. Hands are always up, really, really good defense. Just, you can tell he's a very, very smart fighter, right? Yair Rodriguez fight, he just had trouble with the range, man, the kicking game. He could not, he's a counter striker, man, and he could never get his counter strike going in that fight because Yair Rodriguez is long and he uses a lot of kicks, so he could never get into range to land on Yair. This fight, if Aaron Pico, I'm telling you guys, if he's not going to be careful, Patricio Pitbull still hits very hard. He hurt Dan Ige. Dan Ige has an excellent chin, and he hurt Dan Ige in the last fight very bad in round 2. And again, Aaron Pico's chin is not the best, and he could absolutely get hurt against Patricio Pitbull if he's not careful, because Patricio Pitbull is a great counter striker. But what I think is going to happen here, guys, I truly believe, is Aaron Pico is going to wrestle a lot in this fight. He's going to just try to do the bare minimum to win, in my opinion. He's going to go for takedowns. He's going to get Pitbull tired. Listen, Pico has excellent cardio. He's got excellent wrestling. Pitbull has good takedown defense, not the best at this point, but he could get taken down. He can get taken down. I've seen him taken down plenty. He has a good get-up game. He has a good guillotine, so Pico has to watch out for those things. But this is a fight I'm predicting Pico is going to wrestle his ass off in this fight. He's not going to strike much. If he does, he's going to throw a little bit to mix in the takedowns. I think he's going to take Patricio Pitbull down plenty in this fight. I don't think he's going to have an easy time holding Pitbull down because he has a good get-up game. He's very good with his jiu-jitsu, so Pico has to be careful. But I think he's going to land a lot of takedowns. I don't think he's messing around with the striking much here because I'm telling you guys, if he's not careful, hands down, and he misses a strike or he's throwing those body shots, you know, those big body shots that he throws 3-4 in a row with his hands down, he's going to get clipped by Pitbull. So I think the line's a little bit too wide, but I get it because I think he has a big wrestling edge, man. He's just going to take Pitbull down at 38. He's going to wear on him. He's going to, you know, he's a bigger guy, the stronger guy. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'll tell you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if he found the chin of Pico, because he's such a good counter striker, man. But yeah, that's it. I don't have much else on this fight. If I'm gonna pick a winner, I'm gonna go with Pico here. I think Pico wins a decision, to be honest. That's what I feel like is gonna happen in this fight. Pico looked amazing until he got caught. Fluke KO. Pico getting this win. I don't think Pitbull's good at all. Pitbull's very good, man. Pitbull's excellent fighter. He's tail end of his career, you know. What else do we got here? All right. I mean, let's move on. Next fight. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 18-7 Nate Landwehr versus the 30-14 Cup Swanson. And currently, Cup Swanson is a minus. Oh, I'm sorry. The line has flipped. Minus 116 Nate Landwehr and the minus 104 on Cup Swanson. This is going back and forth, this line. We obviously know Cub retirement fight. This is the second time he said it, but I'm pretty sure this one is it. He's going to turn 43 here later this year. But, you know, when I watch Cub, I still think he has the speed. I still think his striking, his hands are incredible. He's got very, very good hands, very fast hands for a 42-year-old. Still has the power. We saw him knock out with one punch. He knocked out his last opponent. So the power is still there. The speed, I feel like, is still there. But I think there's a couple of things that are definitely going away. I mean, his cardio does not look the same. He can get hit a lot more now. You know, he's engaging in a lot more of these wars. Obviously, the grappling, he doesn't really grapple much at all anymore. But he's facing a guy in Nate Landwehr that I kind of feel like stylistically is a bad matchup for him. I would say I would compare Nate Landwehr a little bit to Billy Quarantillo, but Quarantillo is like completely washed, like tail end of his career. Like I think that was his retirement fight too. I don't know. But the difference between Quarantillo and Landwehr is Landwehr keeps coming similar to Quarantillo, but he hits a lot harder. And I think he's a lot more durable than a guy like Quarantillo is. Even though Landwehr got finished in round 3 in his last 2 fights, Morgan hits hard. Morgan's way more explosive. Morgan is more in his prime. And the same thing with Duo Choi. Like, he just kind of grappled him, elbows from the crucifix. Like, what are you going to do? You put him in a crucifix, elbowed him, right? Nate is still very durable, man, in my opinion. I still think he has a very good chin. You need to land, like, a lot of big shots to get this guy out of there. It's not going to take one. And that's, I think, the problem for Cub here is I don't think it's going to take one for him to knock out late. And if he doesn't knock out Nate early, I think this is going to be a storm. You know, I think he's going to come after him a lot. And he's going to give him a lot of problems. The pace, the pressure, the awkwardness. Even Nate, he might even mix in takedowns here. Honestly, if Nate is smart, he does mix in takedowns here. Because I think he can take Cub down. You know, just kind of put that pace on him, you know, mix it up. Don't just throw strikes. And obviously, Nate is Nate. No one knows what the hell he's going to do. But he can fight, man. Nate can fight. Don't get it twisted. He's got a good jab. He's got that hard cross that he'll throw in combination with punches. He's got the pressure. He's got the durability, in my opinion, too. Edge here. So I lean Nate here. Honestly, I lean his side just because I think Cub being almost 43 years old, man, against a guy like this, it's just bad news. I mean, Cub's last win was against, to me, Billy Quarantillo's like, he's done. He's done. Like, he's not going to fight anymore. That was his retirement fight. Split loss against Feely. He looked good there. I mean, I'll give him that. Duato fight. He looked pretty good there too, but Duato hasn't fought, man. Guy's just like, he's 14-4. He fought in unified MMA. He's not even in the UFC anymore. So, and then that Martinez one where he looked awful, you know, he just got kicked to death. Yeah, I kind of feel like this is a bad matchup, honestly, for Cub. Even though Nate is defensively void, he's super tough, and I think that's bad. That's bad for a guy like Swanson, to go through. Even listening to his interview, you know what he said about his last fight? He said when he went on the stool in round 2, he wanted to quit. He said in his mind he wanted to quit in that fight, and he was so tired, and he was like in his mind like thinking, "How am I going to go out there for round 3?" He said. But then he went out in round 3 and he did his thing. So, I mean, he's still a veteran. This is his last fight. He said that. But I'm gonna go with Nate here. I think Nate does it. I love Cub. I think he's a great fighter, but I mean, 43 years old is hard, man, in the UFC at featherweight. So, yeah, give me Nate Landwehr here. I think he wins this fight. MMA Fanatic says, are you a cop in real life or just name you created? I am a retired cop from Chicago. I did gang and narcotics for 17 years and then 4 years on the streets as just a regular beat cop, my first 4 years. What else you got here? Cub retirement fight. No way. You know, retirement fights have been very, very bad. I've seen a thing where a lot of guys lose in their retirement fight. So I don't know if that's a good thing. All right, let's move on. Next fight. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 22-9 Johnny Walker versus the 15-5 Dominic Reyes. And currently we have Dominic Reyes a -143 favorite with the comeback on Walker a +123. I don't know what to make of this fight. I think Reyes' chin is completely dust. Walker's chin is dust. I would say Walker maybe slightly more durable. Reyes probably hits harder. Reyes is the much more technical fighter. But Reyes' chin is awful, man. It's gone. It's completely dust. I would say Walker's chin's maybe slightly better at this point. He's a little younger. He didn't have that terrible thing that went on with his career as far as Reyes did, where he took a long time off. But you look at Reyes and you look at some of these fights he's had in the last couple, where he got knocked out. Like, he's not taking punches well at all. I mean, got knocked out with a jab against Ryan Spann. Jacoby didn't really land on him. Smith didn't really land on him. Krylov didn't really land on him. And then the next guy that lands on him is Ulberg. And again, it's a jab that drops him. It's a jab right cross. It's like, can he take anything? If Johnny Walker lands on him. Now, I will say is Walker skirts the cage. He kicks a lot. He doesn't really throw a lot of hands as far as like he'll throw elbows and knees, but not a lot of punches. So I don't know what to make of this. I know everybody loves the under here, but the way Johnny Walker fights in circles and how tentative fucking Reyes looked in his last fight against Ulberg, I'm a little scared that this could like stretch out. But if one guy touches the other guy's chin with any power, I think one of these guys is going to go out, right? I don't think they have very good chins at all. So, gun to my head, I like Reyes just because I think he's the more cleaner striker, right? He's the much better striker with hands, especially. And he's southpaw. I don't know if that's going to give Walker problems. But, man, I don't trust these guys' chin, man. I'm staying away from this fight. I don't want nothing to do with this fight. I don't want unders. I don't want overs. I don't want money lines. I don't want anything to do with this fight. But I'm going to give you guys, I have to pick a winner. I'm going to go with Dominic Reyes. I think he's just the cleaner fighter. Walker needs chaos to win, in my opinion, some meme bullshit. I don't think he gets it here. So I'm going to go with Reyes. But would I be surprised if Reyes got knocked out with the first punch? No. All right. What do we got? Battle of the chins. Yeah, dust chins, correct. Julio Rodriguez, absolutely right. Next pot over 1 hour, -375 because we're over an hour here. I just like to engage with my chat there here. So I don't want to just ramble on by myself. So it helps. The 10-7 MMA says, your cousins put me onto this channel. Oh, my cousins? All right. Shout out to my cousins. I appreciate them. Appreciate you for joining. Hit the like. Subscribe if you like what you're hearing. And yes, Freak says live bet Tigers -118. All right. Let's move on. Next fight of the night. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 8-0 Josh Hokit versus the 19-5 Curtis Blaydes. And currently, Curtis Blaydes is -118 line coming in and the -102 on Josh Hokit. Man, this line's getting nuked because Curtis Blaydes was -150 for a long time, and this line is completely down to -118. I kind of get it, but I kind of don't get it either. After I do a lot of tape, man, like Josh Hokit, he's more explosive, right? He's got, I guess, better wrestling credentials for sure. He can probably take Curtis down. I don't think he can hold him down, honestly. I really don't think he can hold Curtis down at all. So when I say that, I expect this fight to be kind of standing for the most part. Nobody knows Josh Hokit's chin, right? Nobody knows if this guy gets touched one time with a big shot, can he take it? Does anybody know? Because I want to know if he could take a big punch. I don't know if he can. He is 7 years younger, which is good. I think he's faster, way faster than Curtis Blaydes, which is good. I think he's a lot more athletic at this point. Faster feet, faster hands, in and out a lot faster. But listen, Blaydes has a big reach and height advantage here. Okay, Blaydes has a very good jab. Blaydes is a lot more technical with his boxing, right? And his striking. So, and Blaydes is a lot more proven than a guy like Hokit. So I get that people are betting Hokit and banking on, him looking good here. He's the faster guy. He could potentially melt Blaydes just throwing big shots. But let me say one thing though. It's kind of important, man. Blaydes has only been knocked out by the best guys, the hardest hitters. Aspinall, Pavlovich, Lewis, Ngannou, twice. 5 of the biggest hitters in MMA, right? Hokit's nowhere near them. I don't give a fuck how fast he is, how he looks. He doesn't have those guys' power. I watch tape. I know enough striking that he doesn't have the power those guys have, right? He has speed, which is good, but he doesn't have those guys' power. So I know last fight, Blaydes didn't look good, but he tore his MCL in round 1. I mean, you have to cut him some slack there. Like, how much better is Josh Hokit's grappling, wrestling, jiu-jitsu than a guy like Jalton Almeida for MMA? I don't think it's that much better. I mean, yeah, could he take down Blaydes over and over again? Yes, but Blaydes is going to get right back up. He's not holding Blaydes down, in my opinion, at all. He's not holding Blaydes down whatsoever here. So it's like, I don't know how Josh Hokit wins this fight outside of maybe just outworking maybe Blaydes. I'm going to go with Curtis Blaydes, man, after doing more tape on this. I just, there's something about Hokit that, and it's not the shenanigans, it's not any of that. There's something about Hokit that's not very good, man. His striking is not very good. It's not technical at all. It's just wild swings, overwhelming his low-level opponents. That's what we got to say. And then to carry a guy like Freeman for 3 rounds, or I'm sorry, to carry a guy for an entire round, for 3 rounds, for an entire round where he was just literally given up from beginning. Like, I don't understand how he carried him for that long. Like, then you look at that Uriel fight, and there was some discouraging moments in that fight where Uriel is landing on him and he's like kind of like running away, shelling up. I don't like seeing that. I just want to see Hokit take a punch, man. I don't know if he can take a punch. I really don't. And nobody knows if he can take a punch here. So for me, I'm going to go with the more proven guy in Curtis Blaydes here, man. Like, I don't think Hokit has success holding him down, which turns into a striking matchup. And I think Curtis Blaydes is the better striker and the more proven guy that could take a punch, that could land big punches, much longer reach, bigger guy. Give me Curtis Blaydes here, man. I can't. I thought I was going to go with Hokit, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I think Curtis Blaydes wins here, honestly, after doing more tape. So I was on the Hokit train a little bit, but when I dug deeper, I couldn't do it. He needs to prove it to me before I can say, okay, this guy could take a punch and give one back, right? So let's see what we have here. Half the battle says Curtis Blaydes said he won't speak at a press conference. Time to cancel the presser. Jose Calderon, Hokit will KO Blaydes. Don't look at it like that, though. He could knock him out, I guess. Tristan says, wonder if this will go the same way Chris Daukaus did. We'll see. It could. It could. DA says, I want to smash this, but I'm holding myself back. Which side do you want to smash? I don't know. What do you want to smash? Yes, Freak says, Hokit equals shiny new toy, 100%. SX says, I want Hokit to get chin so bad. He's so weird. He's like this kid in school who they think they're funny, but you don't want to think like that, because that will make you bet a guy like Curtis Blaydes just because you don't like the guy. You know, you're trying to bet with your heart and not with your brain. So I will say that's kind of bad, but I am not reading this name because I know who you are. But tiny little Jalton took down Blaydes and beat him in the first round. Hokit wins. Blaydes lost to Kunaev as well. All right, we'll see. Could be right. You could be right. JC Emmons says, what up, Narco? I signed up for a monthly. Let's effing go, JC. Are you in there? If you're in there, tell me if you like it. If not, we'll refund you and you can move on. But I'm pretty sure you're going to like the Discord. It's great. That's the other thing about the Discord. And I don't shout it out way too much, but honestly, the best community out there, man. Everybody, the one thing everybody says to me outside of just the betting stuff that we've been winning on, we're plus 20 units this year on all my plays, not counting all the live plays that we crush. But what everybody sends me messages, I get a ton of messages in that Discord from people. And the one thing that they say over and over again, I've never been part of a Discord where everybody kind of gets along. People can talk freely, talk about fights, combat sports, even other sports, right? No one shit talks each other. I don't allow that, by the way. If you're going to shit talk people and do all this, cancerous shit, I kick you out. I can give you back your money and get you out of there, because I don't want it to be cancerous. That's part of why the community is so good and growing like crazy. So I appreciate everybody in there. I appreciate everybody signing up. And we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep growing, and we're going to make it the best Discord out there for combat sports. And I already think it is the best out there, but we're going to make it better and better and better. What else do we have here? DA says, I think it's levels, Narco. Yeah, it could be. In the clinch says, I hate seeing guys 0 on the line. As a veteran, I think Blaydes might actually have this fight. Could be. City Boy says, live been on fire in the Discord. Appreciate you. He's kind of a new guy in there, City Boy. He came from X, and I think he loves it. Narco, we need a thread in the Discord. We could talk about UFC female fighters' feet. That is not happening. That is not happening. AJ says, by far the sharpest Discord I've been a part of. Life in there is a life changer. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you. I think AJ is kind of new too, because I've really haven't seen him very long in there. But JSB says, need a discount code to join. Look out for a discount code. I'm going to be giving out one. This week for UFC 327. I'll post it on my X. I haven't done it yet. So I'll do one this week, because I am doing it for part of the tails. So I will be doing one. Yeah, one thing I've noticed how positive Discord is, says Damon. I appreciate you. Look at all these people saying the streets are asking for code Dixon. No code Dixon this week. That it's going to be a different code this week. All right. Let me get my template for the next fight. All right. Next fight of the night. It is the co-main event, and it is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 15-4 Paulo Costa versus the 16-0 Azamat Murzakanov. And currently, Azamat Murzakanov minus 200, and the comeback on Paulo Costa plus 170. Right away, I do think this line's a little bit too wide, just because Paulo is a very durable guy. 1, 2, he's got a lot of experience. It's good output, good cardio for the most part. Very good kicking game, good hands. So all around, Paulo is the hardest matchup for Murzakanov for sure. But I will say that Murzakanov has elite power, man. This guy has just elite power in his hands. 7 UFC fights. He's got 7 knockdowns. Every single fight, he's knocked his opponent down. So the guy clearly has power. Whether you like it or not, this guy has a lot of power. Last time out, he knocked out Rakic with a jab, man. It was a literal lead hand jab that knocked out Rakic, who's actually been, known to have a pretty good chin, man. And he knocked him out with a jab. Murzakanov has a lot of power, But the other thing is the way you look at this fight is like Costa is tough as nails, man. He's got a great chin. He's only been knocked out 1 time in 19 fights. That was to Israel Adesanya. The guy does have a great chin. Can he get hurt? Absolutely. He can get hurt. I think in his last fight, he got buzzed actually in round 3 against Kopylov, who's a southpaw as well. But Kopylov is longer than a guy like Murzakanov, Paulo Costa is moving up to light heavyweight. That actually might not be bad. I mean, this guy cuts a lot of weight for middleweight. So this is a 20-pound gap, right, between middleweight and light heavyweight. People need to realize that this is a 20-pound move up as opposed to almost no other division. Like, what other division are you moving up 20 pounds, right? It's only this one. This is the division from middleweight to light heavyweight. You move up 20 pounds. It's a big move up. But I think Paulo, it might be good for him, because when you looked at 185 on fight night, he weighed 215, 217. This guy was very, very heavy. So he was cutting 30 plus pounds to get to 85. He's a big dude. It might be good for him that he's moving up, I do think that he's got the output edge here. I do think he has the cardio edge here. He's got the experience edge here as far as fighting in the UFC. Better level of opposition, right? All those things are Paulo Costa. I do worry that he could get clipped with the big left hand from Murzakanov. He's got a big, powerful left hand. But Murzakanov looks sketchy in a lot of fights, man. Let's talk about some of these fights where he's looked sketchy. First of all, Tafan fight, he's down 2-0. And he finds a knee towards the, in round 3. He looks bad in that fight. Tafan hits a lot of calf kicks, switching southpaw, and he's throwing calf kicks. I'm not sure if Costa can switch southpaw and land calf kicks. What I am sure of is that inside leg kick he's going to throw. The body kick is he's going to throw. Those are nasty kicks, and he did them against Kopylov quite a bit. I think those are going to give Murzakanov a lot of issues, guys. Inside leg kick to the body kick is going to give Murzakanov hell in this fight. Now, when we look at other fights, Dustin Jacoby fight, Murzakanov looks horrible in round 3. He's hurt. And then for whatever reason, Jacoby goes for a takedown. Round 2, Jacoby's styling on him, honestly. And then he hurts Jacoby very bad, drops him, and he loses that round. there is fights that he hasn't looked great in. You know, Rakic fight obviously ended early. Ribeiro, I don't put too much stock into that. And then the Minifield fight, he looks fine. You know, he outlands Minifield. But this fight, in my opinion, and you look at Murzakanov, he's 36. I think the line's a little bit too wide at plus 170 here. I think it's got to be dog or pass. I'm going to take a shot on Paulo Costa here. I'm going to give you him as the winner. I haven't bet it with all transparency because I was hoping the line might get bigger here. But I like Paulo Costa here. I think he's going to outwork Azamat. I think he has better cardio than Azamat. Potentially he's more durable than Azamat. I don't know. I can't really gauge how good of a chin Azamat has. He hasn't really been hit very clean. I think Minifield landed some good shots. Jacoby obviously hurt him in round 3, but I need to see a little bit more from his chin. And then again, Azamat is undersized for light heavyweight. Like, he should not be fighting there, but the weight cut might be bad. He's always fought there, so I can't. I mean, he's undefeated. What am I going to say? But yeah, I think it's Paulo Costa here. It's dog or pass. I can't lay this price with this guy. Murzakanov is going to wrestle. No chance, man. Murzakanov does not wrestle. He's not out wrestling Paulo Costa. I think if anything, Paulo might be able to take him down. Believe it or not. Asher says, appreciate you, Narco. You're the man. Appreciate you as well. Nick Pick says, Costa been training hard and it's his kicking power looking crazy at light heavyweight. Hound says, Paulo decision plus 500. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Paulo decision is not terrible. I don't think it's a terrible bet. All right. Before we move on, main event, I want to finish this off here. Like, subscribe, please. Channel's growing. 425 live viewers. I appreciate every single one of you. Again, like, subscribe, comment after the video's over. That helps the algorithm. Tomorrow, Lambo Plays podcast with Timothy Troiano, 9 p.m. on YouTube on my channel. So Lambo Plays podcast, if you haven't listened to it, it's my prop show with Timothy Troiano where we give you long shot props. Last week, guys, Timothy Troiano gave the 50-1 Gore submission in round 3. Absolute banger there he gave out. So props to him there. I gave out a couple of good ones last week as well. But the week before that, I gave 7 Lambos, which was insane. But with all that being said, let's move on. Main event of the night. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 13-1 Carlos Ulberg versus the 32-5-1 Yuri Prochazka. And currently, Yuri is a minus 113 favorite with the comeback on Ulberg at minus 107. Well, one thing that I didn't even know, but when I looked at it, I'm like, what? Ulberg is 35 and Yuri's 33? What the hell is this? So, yeah, it's funny. Look at the amount of fights for Yuri compared to Ulberg. And yet, Ulberg is the older guy here, right? Man, this fight is going to be good. I'm going to start on the Ulberg side. He's a great technical striker, very good striker, good footwork, good check left hook, very good kicking game, defensively pretty sound. What else can I say? Not a lot of high level experience, I would say, you know, for Ulberg. You know, he's never been 5 rounds. He's only been 3. He's fought. Best level of opposition, I would say, is Jan Blachowicz 2 fights ago. Very, very close fight, in my opinion. Volkan Ozdemir, it was a unanimous decision. Again, close fight, in my opinion. Both those fights were very close. Ulberg did win both fights, in my opinion, but closer fights. And then now he's stepping up a big step up in Yuri Prochazka in a 5-round fight. In a fight where Yuri has fought at this level a lot, man. He's fought a lot of 5-round fights, even though they've ended inside the distance. Glover, you know, finished in round 5. Bunch of these round 3s finishes, round 2, round 3. Jamal Hill, round 3. Volkan round 2, Reyes round 2. You know, you got a bunch of finishes later. His only 2 losses, Alex Pereira in round 2, right? And Alex Pereira hits harder than anyone pound for pound in probably the entire UFC, right? The guy hits very, very hard. He caught Yuri being lazy, and he put him to sleep, right? One of them was a head kick. One of them was a left hook, whatever. So be it. He finished Yuri, right? Ulberg has a very good left hook. He could land it on Yuri. I don't think it'll have the same results that Pereira had. The other thing that I think is very important here in this fight, super important. If you want to look at a fight and say, let's see how Ulberg fights in this fight, I would say go to the Ozdemir fight. Ozdemir pressured. Ozdemir had him on his back foot. And that's the one fight that Carlos Ulberg did not throw many leg kicks. He was 8 for 9. They didn't throw leg kicks because he was on his back foot. And it's hard to throw leg kicks when you're constantly on your back foot. It's not easy to throw calf kicks. It's not easy to throw because you're just not in balance or able to throw them while you're backing up. It's just not easy to throw them. It's not easy to throw them with power. If you miss them, you're off balance. You're out of position. You're there to get knocked out or hurt or whatever, right? And in my opinion, maybe in round 1 he gets them off, but Yuri is a guy that comes forward. He comes forward hard. He pressures hard. He switches stances. He's very unpredictable. I don't see him fighting any differently. People are going to go back and say, well, Roundtree landed a lot on him. Jamal Hill landed a lot on him. You know, Alexander landed a lot. But those guys held the center of the cage. Those guys did not back up. Those guys that you're talking about, Roundtree, Hill, Rakic, they are not back foot fighters. Ulberg can fight on the back foot, and he has fought on the back foot a lot. So Yuri is going to pressure him. I don't think Ulberg has a lot of success with his calf kicks and his inside leg kicks and stuff like that while on the back foot. And I think Yuri's pressure is going to get to Ulberg, man. It's just, he's one of those guys that I think it's a bad idea to fight on the back foot against. I think you have to hold the center. You have to crack him, potentially hurt him. You know, like if you look at Roundtree was having a lot of success in rounds 1 and 2. He did excellent holding his foot, holding that center cage and landing shots on Yuri. If you're backing up and let Yuri come forward and do what he wants, he's probably going to make you melt unless you catch him with something huge and finish him like Pereira did against the cage. I don't think Ulberg has that power that Pereira does. So for me, I think Yuri is going to absolutely cook Ulberg here. I really do. You know, I know Ulberg is more technical, but every single one of these fighters Yuri fights is more. Jamal Hill is more technical. Khalil Roundtree is more technical. Alexander Rakic is more technical. You know, you could go on and on and on about every single fighter being more technical than Yuri. But what happens? He wins. And he finds a way to win. And the only guy that he couldn't beat was Alex Pereira. And even in those fights, he had success. He had success coming forward against a guy like Alex. It's just that he got caught by big shots. And could he get caught here by a big shot? Sure. But again, I don't think Ulberg has Alex Pereira power. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But I saw a guy like Ozdemir take every single shot. Huge shot, huge right hands, left hooks. He took all of them. And I think, to me, Yuri has a better chin than a guy like Ozdemir. So I think Yuri is the side here for me at -113. I haven't bet him. A lot of money has been coming in on Ulberg. I like Yuri here. I think Yuri finds a finish here. I don't know when it's going to be. Could be any round. I lean later, but it could be round 2. Could be even round 1 if he finds the chin. Yuri hits very hard. And if he hurts you, if Yuri hurts you, say goodnight. You're not probably surviving. So, yeah, I'm going with Yuri Prochazka here. Probably a late round finish. And that's it. We did it. All 12 fights. Appreciate everybody. 433 live viewers. What else do we have here? I don't see anything else. I think you're completely wrong. Says Truth and Logic. I think Ulberg ices him. We'll see. It could happen. Ulberg has good striking. I'm going to go with the more proven fighter. The guy that's been in the championship, in the lights. The guy that can go 5 rounds. I think that's all Yuri, but we'll see. Again, appreciate everybody. Please like, subscribe, do all of that. I'll be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern with Timothy Troiano. It's a lot easier when you have a sidekick and not talking the entire hour and 30 minutes, which is pretty damn hard. But again, I appreciate everybody for joining. Hit the like, subscribe, join the Discord. Link is down below. Join that Discord, join that Discord, join that Discord. You'll love it. I promise you guys. It's $25 a month. The link is for free down below, but that's only for the free portion. So appreciate everybody. Good luck, and let's cash those tickets for UFC 327.